Morning, everyone.
Morning.
We are so grateful to be here, to be able to see another day. We're certainly grateful, when I say we, this council and these employees, are grateful to see everybody that is here and has not been here before. We want to encourage you to continue to come and support what we're doing and to see what we're doing. And more importantly, we like to be held accountable because that's basically our responsibility with transparency and integrity. So with that, I am calling the meeting to order. I would like to call on Pastor Karen Seeper from Somerville Methodist Baptist Church to lead us with the invocation. If we can stand and remain standing, and Councilman Green will lead us with the pledge.
Let us pray. Holy and gracious God, we just come before you this morning and give you praise and thanks for this beautiful day that you've given us. We thank you for the rain, and we thank you for the sunshine that we're hoping to have this week. And Holy God, we just thank you for all the blessings that you give us. We just ask that you walk through this day and open our eyes so that we see all of them, because we don't want to miss anything. Holy God, we lift up the children that are out of school right now, that they're on summer break, that you keep them safe and that you keep them with some structured activity so that they don't get bored and get into trouble. We just ask that you just keep them safe and their families safe. We lift up the teachers and the administrators and the janitors and all the people behind the scenes of the school system, that you give them respite and regenerate them so that they can start a new school year in August. And Holy God, we just lift up our law enforcement and our EMTs and all of our first responders that go out every single day and keep our communities safe. God, that you would go before them, that you would give them wisdom, and that you would keep them safe and bring them home safely every single day. Holy God, as this agenda unfolds, God, I ask that you give the leaders wisdom and compassion and sometimes just common sense. Holy God, we lift this prayer out to you in your Son's precious name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Pastor Seeker. Thank you, Mrs. Green, for that invitation. Again, thank you all for being here. But thank you. We still love you. We're not going to hold it against you for leaving. But before we get into the agenda, I want to address something and have this point of privilege. I know a lot of us, most of us probably watch the news, and sometimes the news doesn't always get it correct. And mistakes are made. We're not upset with them. However, I have talked to one of the reporters and explained to them the situation of what the retraction should be, which they agreed. They apologized, or the person apologized. But I know it was stated that the condition of the city was that we only had about $330-some thousand. We're about to raise taxes, and we're about to raise water rates, which that part is true, because again, but the taxes as well as our financial situation is not true. It was total mistake on their part, which they admitted. But on yesterday, we were discussing the Phenix oil, which is 30 years ago, that it is an opportunity, and I want to encourage everyone that is here, as well as everyone who is watching, to read this, because it's a tool that we as a council, we as a city, we as a city manager, we as a department head can really see how far we have come as a city. And one would have to know that if we just voted and passed to give all our employees $250 net pay to help them out in today's environment, should show and prove to people that we're not doing bad financially at all. In fact, we have enough that we can pay off our debts, but we want to be business savvy and leverage it to make sure that we can continue to get more revenues. There are prominent people that back in 1996 that was looking forward of the growth of Phenix City in the condition that Phenix City was in at that time. It's proof how well the city has done since that time. And you even have some prominent people in here that are making statements about the city does not at that time have a steady income stream of revenue to meet the needs of our community. From dilapidated things that was being used by the department heads to where we've come now, it is proof of how well the city has done. And we, as a council, is so proud that we, on our watch, that we've been able to be blessed to be able to make a little small difference of the growth of this community. So I did want to say that, and we want people to understand that the news will do a retraction, and we do want you all to read this and look at it so you can have the same appreciation that we have on how far in the growth of the city. Okay.
Mayor,
Yes, sir, Mr. Hunt.
you know, we agree on a lot of things. I love you to death, but I'm going hard at this. I am pissed. Okay? I gave a report yesterday to the council that's coming up for 30 years ago in 1996, the state of the city. And I want them to look at this because the anniversary of July 11th is coming up to show the different conditions from then to now. A simple report. And we handed this out to some people. And one person from the newsroom, the WTVM, took it back and obviously gave it to someone else that he didn't give the audio, anything else to. And they took everything that was in here from 1994 and reported it as current news, the state of the city. And I had to look at this at 12 o'clock last night. I hadn't been asleep all night. We just had an audit a couple of months ago that shows a lot of times people, we have $94 million at the end of that audit in the bank. I'm not going to curd around this in any kind of manner, but to go back and talk about the deplorable conditions that the city was in 30 years ago, and what got me ticked off, do you all know how long it's going to take to try to straighten this out if we do get it straightened out? It's already hard in government for people to believe anything you're saying. So once they get out there and hit the airwaves, it is hard to straighten out. But for the people that's in this room that was here yesterday, know what the report says, and it's clearly in here, 1996. Now, how did somebody get that confused? I don't know. Every once in a while I'll think, and I won't even have this on TV, sometimes I think people do things on purpose. It's ridiculous to go through here and see every page that's in here that you can look through and go back to those days and report this as current news. Now I'm telling you, it's going to be hard. And I'm telling this council, it's going to be hard to straighten this out. This people already don't want to believe nothing you say, but this report was from 1996. And what I was doing, attempting to do, was give an update on where we are now compared to then. The conditions for our departments, what shape they're in. So I don't know what to do about it, but try to pray about it. But it's very upsetting for something like that to happen.
Okay. Well, let me say this. The key thing he said, we're going to continue to pray. This is a praying council. And I do want to say this. I want to ask that no one take it offensive of what Mr. Hunt said as far as being pissed off. Piss is in the Bible, so we don't say. And we all piss. But the difference is we show our festivity differently. But we can show it differently. And I would say, if you've been around for 40 years and you've been able to see some of the challenges, and we'll talk more about that later, you will have a tendency, I believe, to be able to speak as he spoke, because he's been here 40 years. This is not an easy job for him or his council or the department heads, because people don't believe in people that are in this gig, and I don't call it politician or politics, I call it a gig. But I don't want anyone going out saying that what he said, and he has a right to be pissed off. And we're all pissed. Because again, we know what we have to do to try to keep our integrity and our character and all those things, which we will do because we are a praying council. We don't apologize for that. So I wanted to take that point of privilege to address this, but I do want to encourage you all to get a copy of this, and you will be able to appreciate where we are now. So thank you all for that, and we're about to get into the agenda. And at this time of the presentation and proclamation, this is something that was put in place by our city manager in increments of 5 years. We have people that we want to acknowledge today, as well as also encourage them to get their years in. So with that saying, we'd like to call on Eliza Phillips White and City Manager Mr. Hunt to be able to present these people with their awards of 5 years of increments and more. And I think we got a couple of them that's 20 years, and it's only 40 years, and if I recall correctly, 10, 20, and 10, 25. Eliza?
Good morning. We are proud to recognize and celebrate the dedication and commitment of our employees. So first, with the Parks and Recs Department, we have Jerry Ritter with 10 years. Unfortunately, she's unable to be with us today, but we will make sure and get her certificate and pin to the department to pass along. Next, we have with our golf course, 25 years, Mr. Yancey Evans.
All right, James. All right, James, you got something? Yeah, you want to say?
You tend to bring that cart back by closing.
First, I just want to say thank you all for giving me the opportunity to work for the city. I enjoyed it, loved it, and to go.
Thank you, James. Hey, and when I say we are, I'm always talking about the council. We always try to encourage our people to do at least 25 years because state of Alabama, in our opinion, has one of the best benefit packages. So we encourage our employees to put that time in to be able to get that time where they can continue to have a quality of life. Yancey and I played football together. He's extremely fast, real fast. I don't know whether he was just fast or scared, but I think he was scared. Appreciate it, Yancey.
Thank you.
Thanks.
At this time, I would like to ask for Mayor Lowe, if you would come down, please. Our last recognition is actually for Mr. Hunter this morning. Mr. Hunter has dedicated 40 years of service to this city, beginning his career as a firefighter and advancing through various ranks within the fire department, while also gaining a comprehensive understanding of overall city operations. His desire to gain knowledge of municipal operations ultimately led to his appointment as assistant city manager and subsequently to his role as city manager for the past 18 years. Thanks to the generous benefits offered by the retirement systems of Alabama, including options to add service credit through sick leave conversion and stress bill time for law enforcement and firefighters, Mr. Hunter's total years of service with RSA now amounts to 49 years and 2 months. Also, I would like to point out that Mr. form of government. Thank you, Mr. Hunter.
Thank you all. First of all, let me say that I am truly blessed to be able to present this to Mr. Hunter. So after 40 years, you know there's a lot of things you go through. Good and bad, sometimes awful, sometimes happy, but a lot of times you get beat up a lot. And to be able to persevere and sustain that, particularly in a gig like this, is something special. For over 14,000 days, he has been serving this city. And so you all can see what I said earlier, his level of festivity, rightfully so, because of all the things that he's done and been able to do for this community. As you could tell, he does have a passion for this city. There's a lot of things that, and I'm gonna say this, and I probably shouldn't say this, he's gonna get mad. People don't understand how we get in the back rooms and talk about things and how we be fussing at each other and cussing. I don't cuss, he cuss. But when we walk out, nobody never knows. And I don't always agree with him. He doesn't always agree with me. But at the end of the day, it's not about us. And just like a family, the problems you have in your family, you hash it out, but when you come out, you got to be on the same page for the people that we're serving. And he and I have been able to do that. So I am grateful to be able to present to Wallace, Mr. Hunter, this plaque of 40 years, which is over actually 14,600 days that he's been serving this community. So it gives me great pleasure, as well as this council, to be able to present this to you. Congratulations.
All right, speech now. Speech.
Yeah, you say, you want to get your family?
Sure. Those who know.
Bernard and Constance. Come on down.
One more thing for
All right, big man.
I want to take a few minutes to speak a little bit, but right now, Sean, first thing on that is to hire me in March. He's here. You hired me 4 years ago and prior to the chief break. If y'all could, I'd like for y'all to come up. Action in this country. And a lot of things were put there for me to accomplish when I came in. Actually, I would have had 44 years for my father was alive and working for me. And these two guys, along with Miss Francis, the secretary at that time in the fire department, she put some pressure on me because she was my customer. I was from Kmart. I didn't find that you can see on the pictures. 2 of them careers while I was working. And still, with the help of them, especially the chief grader here, I'm still employed by the Alabama State Fire College. Trying not to get tongue-tied here, trying to hold it together. So with that and all the other relationships doing Bird Mellon and Cortez Lawrence, I've had a whole career of help through a lot of people. And they helped me a lot, you know, and I'm still able to be in communication with them. and that means a lot to me because it was a tough time back in those days. So failing wasn't an option for me at all when I came here, you know, because it was naysayers. There was a lot of people saying what you couldn't do. At least.
He talked about Miss Frances Maddox. She was the secretary of the fire department at the time. I become chief in '83. Miss Frances run the front office and run me most of the time. But she said, this is a young man you've got to talk to. Get him to an application. We were looking for quality people back then was our goal. And we just hired. Who would come first? Who would James?
James. Me and James, I gotta get this going, get James. This woman, that's just like my brother, man. James Jackson, we did everything together.
Miss Maddox also found James because she knew his daddy. Daddy came by and talked to me, and I had full background on both of them before they came to work. Mark was the one that was involved, and he was like a relative of Miss Maddox.
Almost, she was like her second mother. She came back for lunch. She was not going to leave just to keep her. She said, if you pass up, walk in front of you, pass up a good man, y'all need to look at him up there. So we did, and the rest is what we have here. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Miss Francis.
Thank you. Ms. Francis, my number one customer at Kmart. I'm the manager with Kmart, which I stayed at Kmart. I took a break to go through training here at the fire department and went back and I had a 20-year career with Kmart as a manager. So it afforded me a big opportunity to do a lot of things, and that's because of you all that helped me. And James with me my whole career.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Just hold this. I want to spend this last few minutes showing how grateful and thanks to everybody. For one, I want to thank this council for keeping your name moving forward. And I appreciate, and I sincerely say that from my heart. All the people that I work with, the city clerk's office, our attorney is over there, Jim McComb, Jan is also the assistant city manager. And I'm going to come to the point where I want to thank these department heads, finance department, economic development, parks and rec, engineering, utilities department, HR, library, IT, building and maintenance, fire department. Make sure I had listed my police department. Said, I don't care about majority, I almost missed it. I want to take time, Donnie. Appreciate you all, Captain. Appreciate everything you all do. Ruby, I see you over there in the corner. You usually sit right there. So I'm Captain, got to take the court. Go back to the court. Donnie, see me. Representative Blackshear is here. Chris Blackshear, we have, you know, we talk all the time, every day. We going through government. If you're working and you're for this city, you have to make adjustments. We made adjustments throughout time. We received millions of dollars from the state with a lot of his help and with the things he's doing. So let me back up. I'm kind of, that news report last night and getting kind of nervous here. I usually don't have anything shaking me, but I went past something. Without the grace and mercy of God, I wouldn't be standing. That's number one. And I'm trying to picture, I want to make sure I never, ever forget that, because he gave me such wonderful parents, and I'll come back to that. But I see our pastor back there, Noah Williams. I appreciate you being here, Pastor. Thank you very much. He's been a mentor He served 2 terms on the council. A lot of people don't realize that. See, Raymond Smith, like that, former chief and public safety director, I thank them for coming. Like I said, you see my family come up, and I thank them because they have to put up with me. And they put up with Cheryl was married to a workaholic, as you know. You know, I've got 105 years of work life. I was in laundry business 35 years of on the double jobs. It's the first time in 40 years that I'm down to 2 jobs. I have to have things to do. Our new superintendent is here, and his assistant. I appreciate them. Nathan been around since he's superintendent now. He was a little boy back then. David Martin worked in the fire department with us, with the EMS director. Thank you for being here. Once that was here, I don't want to miss anybody. Down from Bean TV all the way to our other HR specialists, and one's back there just doing work. Danielle, he's been around here his whole career. And you know what I meant down there, right? You'll explain the story, I want you. Been around Danielle since he was very young too. Like I said, I want to thank everybody this year. I want to thank you too. The big thing is what the police department is going to receive after this. But I want to say this. I have had a great life. God assigned me to great parents. A lot of times I don't talk. I like to talk when I'm around people that love these, that are around all the time. But my parents, I had wonderful parents. My parents are originally from Fort Benjamin. They raised us in 2 states, state of Illinois and Alabama. I'm number 5 out of 8 kids. My parents were together 56 years before my father passed away. Over a 20-year period, they had 8 kids. It's 8 of us. My mother made sure that we understood that my father was the leader, and that's who we would follow. I'm not a person that can go on any talk show anywhere and say I didn't have guidance, or I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing now, or be able to stand here. And I'm from a different generation, a Norman generation, where my parents was from the silent generation, as they call it, in psychology. But looking back and knowing history and loving history, knowing what my parents went through, as far as Jim Crow and the whole works, that's why my father moved to Chicago years ago. But he always established that all people are not alike. All people are not harm and cause problems. So I was raised very well. Anything that you ever see me do something wrong here and there, whatever, I learned that from somewhere else. I didn't learn that from my household with my parents. I was fortunate enough to, when I'm here, a lot of people don't give credit to when you know you got good fortune. You can see the people that directed that was here, they hired me. Francis, Maddox, like I said, I had several careers going on at the same time. And I want to make sure all those people know that I appreciate what they've done for me and my family. I can't give Cheryl and BJ enough credit for what they've had to put up with. My daughter is in the line. I can't, you know, so I've had the family, I got an extended family. I'll say this, I know my whole family. I know my great-grandfather. I know both grandfathers, my grandmothers, everything. So a person like me can't do nothing but appreciate things and appreciate what the Lord has done for me, you know. And with this world, the way it's going, and the things of reading with the word of Paul and Timothy and talking to all the preachers, when I was reading the other night, people are not going to believe you in a lot of different things. But send them back out. You've got to keep, you can't give up. You don't have the option to give up when you're serving the public. I've lived the dream, and Ms. Francis helped me do that. And me and the mayor talk about this all the time. At the age of 6, I knew that I would be a firefighter. When I seen an officer friendly, as they called in those days, used to come to the school. And there was a kid in my school named Joe Trotter. He had been in the fire, he was burnt in most of the fire. And as we talked about it, the teachers and stuff like that, at that young age, I've always had something in my heart for Joe. And I guess that led to me wanting to do different things. And then my father went out and purchased a fire truck and got the different things. And in between those 8 kids, I got to say, in the middle of that
56 years. So I had 4 brothers and sisters, older brothers and sisters, so I want to give credit because they helped establish a lot of things in me. I appreciate my family. I appreciate people. When it boils down to it, all you have is people. When you can relate to people and have good people, you got a lot going for yourself. And like I say, they did as much for me as they possibly can, and I want to thank people. But I'm going to tell you something that was unusual in my young age that stuck with me. I was so fortunate that you hear people talk about mother-in-law jokes all the time. I can't leave from here without talking about my mother-in-law. You know, when you're young and you're going through things, me and Cheryl had a 47-year relationship. Dating, going together, marriage, the whole works and the whole thing. But her mother was an absolute person that was in my corner. And she encouraged and backed me all the way. She got a chance to see me become city manager like my mother did. Father was fast, but always, I'm saying that to say this, always thank people. Always thank a lot of people to help you get to where you're at, because you didn't get there by yourself. You know, there's no way to do that. You know, all the love that I have for you all and what you have to put up with and deal with, sometimes you gotta understand. When you look at the multitude of almost 400 people, 400 million people in the United States, my group is small. And it's easy to understand and see and love you all and love your family, because when a person is hard hit, it's not just that person. It's that person and their entire family and their kids, which you have to deal with. So, and knowing those people and watching kids grow up, and being city manager 18 years, I have watched graduations of kids. I have watched kids get grown. I watched all grandkids get grown. So we have had a chance to watch that. I'm just taking this time to say, it is no harm in expressing how much you can just care about people and love people. We're not going to always get along. Like Mayor said, we're not going to agree on everything. But when you're working in this job, when you make this commitment, you got to have something to go along with it. Determination. You got to have a discipline. You got to have all those things to go along with you being successful to be able to serve the public. And it's tough serving the public sometimes, but you have to fight through it. And what doors that we want to open for other people, and that I'm always trying to open, is the doors that was open for me. There's a lot of doors open for me. And like I say, me and Chief Prater have a long ways to go. And I was young, when we said that, I was a young guy still playing basketball. And Chief Prater established stuff with me real early. I told him one time, you know, he had a little more, had to deal with me a little more than James, because I told him, you know, me and James gonna go out and party. And James going home, I'm gonna play. Chief Prater said, if you party today at the Roanoke, Alabama, you're gonna be in the gas class. That's what you're gonna be at. You remember that, Chief? We ended up going up there, and then he made me teach a class. That's what started me to teach it. I said, Chief, I'm not an instructor yet. You know, he said, well, this weekend coming up, you will be teaching a weekend class. So he got that established, and it slowed me down a lot. So I want to say thank you, Chief. And thank y'all for listening to me. Sometimes I get long-winded, but I didn't say it. You know, they say, and I can't believe I'm like that trying to say, now I'm going on a quiet strike on the whole thing. Like they're laughing. But thank you all, and I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Arnold. Thank you all. We now will proceed on. This is a big honor for us, and something that we also should be proud of. At this time, I would like to call on the Chief of the Head of the Police, Mark D. Jones, for the presentation of the accreditation certificate for our Phenix City Police Department. Mr. Jones, come on, Chief. Chief Wilder. This is a big deal for us also.
Good morning. This is something that we're really excited to have presented to us this morning. It's our accreditation certificate from the Alabama Chiefs Association. Before we get started, I want to call Mr. Hunter being said, I'm going to call up Chief Mark Jones from the head of the police department. He's also a member of the Chiefs Association's accreditation committee. He's been the police chief at Headland Community for 22 years, has a total of 40 years of service, so a lot of experience here. He's been to the honor of presenting the certificate this morning.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and Council, thank you for allowing
Thank
me
you.
to come today. Thank you. I've done a lot of these successions through a lot of police departments, but this police department here, you have the most professional, dedicated police department that I would put in the state of Alabama. So you've got something definitely to be proud of here. With that being said, I present certificates as Alabama Association of Chiefs of Police Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Be it known that the Phenix City Police Department, having demonstrated its commitment to police excellence by living up to the progressive standards to ensure that public service are delivered within the community at the highest level of professionalism and integrity, reflects the best professional practices in the area of police management, administration, operations, and support services are hereby recognized as an accredited agency for a period of 5 years upon the recommendation of the Alabama Law Enforcement Accreditation Committee and awarded as a certificate of accreditation. Congratulations. Mayor and Council, I just want to say this. I think we have 25 now in the state of Alabama that's been accredited. You've got a police department you should be proud of. Chief,
Yeah, we should. Thank you.
this place is very, if I was a younger man, I'd be knocking on the door. I'm not sitting there, it's time to go on. Thank you.
Thank you. And Chief Jones, you're welcome to stay. If you leave, it will not be held against you. We still love you. We appreciate what you do for the service for this state as well as your community.
I'm going to ride 45-minute ride out.
Thank you so much. And we still gonna love you. We won't hold it against you.
Thanks, sir.
We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Chief?
If I could, I just want to say this is something that we're really proud of. We've worked really hard on it. If any of y'all have ever run an organization before, you know the work that goes into them making the slightest policy changes. It's a process of every employee has to read the policy, understand it, review it, and then implement it. So a ton of work goes into that. There's over 100 standards that had to be met to get this accreditation. So you times that by 100, it's a ton of work that goes into it. And this is something that I feel like our community should be proud of. They should take pride in knowing their police department is going above and beyond to provide the best law enforcement service we can. We're going to compare ourselves and evaluate ourselves against the highest, most widely accepted law enforcement standards there are. And this is something that Chief Jones mentioned earlier. This is an ongoing process. Every 3 to 5 years there'll be a recertification, and that certification is probably going to be more in depth than the original. So it's going to be a challenge that we look forward to and an ongoing commitment. But I did want to take a minute to call Captain Deeker up. Come on up. I got to give her a ton of credit because she was the kind of spearheaded this whole thing. And Mike, I get to stand up here and hold a certificate, but without her work and support, this may not have got done. So I appreciate it. Again, I also thank Chief Jones for coming and presenting today, but I know he had to get back to heaven, so we're going to excuse him. But again, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Let me say one thing, because I want to congratulate you all. Chief, this is another one of those things that you can witness. This is another one of those things where we made it come true. When you see that report in '96, we was divided also inside the city, not realizing all of us were being served up on the same cake and the same pie. One thing that I made sure of, and I'm glad to have presence of former Chief Ray Smith in here too, that public safety, fire department, police department, building inspections will work together as one, and we've been able to accomplish that ever since Jordan became chief. In November, he's hit the ground running. And there's a lot of professionalism. Chief Thomas back there, Captain, we're respect all you all, and everybody is one, and they have had to work together. All these departments work together so they can understand each other's plight and work and help one another, and it's been good. So we're able to accomplish what you want to accomplish years ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Chief, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Proceeding on now, council under city clerk. Under approval of the regular scheduled meeting minutes, I would like to ask for a motion for the May 18th work session as well as May 19th council meeting, and at the pleasure of the council, I would ask if we can take this in one motion. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Councilman Davis and second Councilmember Green. Okay. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council. Are there any unfinished business that any council member would like to discuss? If not, there being none, we will proceed on with the resolutions and under administration. We have resolution number 2026-162 to be ratified in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor to sign the submittal of the fiscal year 26 SS4, which is the Safety Street and Roads Demonstration Grant Application Documents. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the U.S. Department of Transportation is receiving applications for the FY26 Safe Streets and Roads for All SS4A grant. And whereas Phenix City has adopted the Phenix City Safety Action Plan, SAP, and would like to submit a fiscal year 26 SS4A demonstration grant to address visibility, speed, and intersection-related crash trends along River Chase Drive, Seal Road, and the intersection of Almond Road and Dobbs Drive as outlined in the SAP. And whereas the total project cost is $375,000, and the city will be required to contribute a 20% match in an amount not to exceed $75,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama authorizes the submittal of the fiscal year 26 SS4A demonstration grant and directs the mayor to sign the grant and application documents. Passed, adopted, and approved this 26th day of May 2026. Ratified the 2nd day of June 2026.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Council, we've all heard the resolution, and at this time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Florence. May I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Bailey. Comments or discussion? Okay, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council on the building. We have a resolution in reference to accepting a quote from Great Southern Furniture for the demolition of the structures located at 1208 8th Avenue in an amount not to exceed $6,425. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City of Phoenix City owns property located at 1208 8th Avenue, and whereas the city desires to remove the existing structure on the property, and whereas Great Southern Furniture submitted a quote in the amount of $6,425 for the demolition of the structure located at 1208 8th Avenue. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama does hereby accept a quote from Great Southern Furniture for the demolition of the structure located at 1208 8th Avenue in an amount not to exceed $6,425. Passed, approved, and adopted this 2nd day of June 2026.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis, for reading that resolution. Which council we've all heard, and I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilman Day and a second from Councilmember Florence. Comments or discussion? Okay. Call for the vote, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Also, council on the Engineering and Public Works Department. There's a resolution in reference to declaring 2 office chairs as surplus to be sold as scrap or disposed of at the city landfill. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the Engineering Division of the Engineering and Public Works Department of the City of
has several items of personal property which are no longer needed for public or municipal purposes. And whereas Section 11-43-56 of the Code of Alabama 1975 as amended authorizes the municipal governing body to dispose of unneeded personal property. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that the following described property as listed below is hereby declared surplus to be sold as scrap or disposed of at the city landfill. 2 office chairs, passed, approved, and adopted this second day of June 2026.
Okay. Thank you again, Mr. Davis, for reading the resolution. The council has heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
All right, motion, Councilmember Green, that's the second, Councilmember Florence.
Yes.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any comments or discussion? All right, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council. We have a resolution in reference to declaring 2006 Chevrolet Colorado pickup as surplus to be sold as scrap or disposed of at the city landfill. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the Engineering Division of the Engineering Public Works Department of the City of Phoenix City has an item of personal property which is no longer needed for public or municipal purposes. And whereas Section 11-43-56 of the Code of Alabama 1975 as amended authorizes the municipal governing body to dispose of unneeded personal property. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that the following described property as listed below is hereby declared surplus to be sold as scrap or disposed of at the city landfill. 2006 Chevrolet Colorado pickup, serial number 1GCCS 196768169-351. Passed, approved, and adopted the second day of June 2026.
Okay, thank you again, Mrs. Davis. Council, we have all heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Day, and we have a second from Councilmember Holmes. Any comments or discussion? All right. Call for the vote, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council, the engineering department and public works. We have a resolution in reference to purchase of 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab under the state contract number MA 240000004917 from McSweeney Auto Group in an amount not to exceed $44,092.12. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the Alabama bid law for public contracts allows for municipalities to purchase property under a state bid. And whereas the City of Phoenix City desires to purchase the property hereinafter described for the Streets and Drainage Division in the Engineering Public Works Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, that 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab shall be purchased under state contract number MA 24000004917 from McSweeney Auto Group in an amount not to exceed $44,092.12. Passed, approved, and adopted this second day of June 2026.
Okay, thank you again, Mrs. Davis, for the resolution. At the council, we have all heard, and at this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion from Councilman Day, have a second.
Second.
Second, Councilman Bailey. Comments or discussion? All right, Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, council, we have a resolution in reference to the purchase of 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 3500 HD four-wheel drive regular cab on the state contract number MA 24000004917 from McSweeney Auto Group in an amount not to exceed $46,032.78. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the Alabama bid law for public contracts allows for municipalities to purchase property under a state bid. And whereas the City of Phoenix City desires
desires to purchase the property hereinafter described for the limbs and debris division in the engineering public works department. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, that the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 3500 HD four-wheel drive regular cab shall be purchased under state contract number MA 240000004917 from McSweeney Auto Group in an amount not to exceed $46,032.78. Passed, approved, and adopted this second day of June 2026.
Okay, thank you again, Mrs. Davis. Council, we have all heard the resolution read by clerk. At this time, I'd like to ask this council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
All right. Motion, Councilmember Florence, second, Councilmember Green. Okay. Comments or discussion? All right, Mrs. Davis, call for the vote.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, council, under engineering public works again, is a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor to execute on behalf of the city a memorandum of agreement with the Alabama Historical Commission and the Phenix City Housing Authority. Mrs. Davis.
Resolution number 2026. Whereas the City of Phoenix City, Alabama is a duly organized municipal corporation operating pursuant to the laws of the state of Alabama with full authority and power to enter into agreements and undertake actions for the benefit and welfare of its citizens. And whereas the Phoenix City Housing Authority, a public body corporate and politic organized pursuant to the laws of the state of Alabama, has proposed the demolition of 9 residential buildings located at Frederick Douglass Homes, specifically buildings numbered 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, and 202, for the purpose of creating green space and parking facilities. And whereas the project will utilize federal funding assistance from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and must therefore comply with the requirements of 36 CFR Part 800 implementing section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act, 54 U.S.C. 306108. And whereas, pursuant to 24 CFR 58.4 of the regulations governing environmental review procedures for HUD, the city has assumed the responsibility for environmental review, decision-making, and action that would otherwise apply to HUD for the varying programs. And the city is acting as HUD's responsible entity for the project. And whereas Frederick Douglass Homes has been determined eligible for listing on the National Register of Historic Places by the Alabama State Historic Preservation Officer, and the project has been determined to constitute an undertaking that will have an adverse effect on historic properties pursuant to 36 CFR Part 800. And whereas the city, the PCHA, and the Alabama Historical Commission have engaged in consultation pursuant to Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act, and have negotiated a memorandum of agreement to resolve the adverse effects of the project through appropriate mitigation measures. And whereas the Advisory Council of Historic Preservation has been notified of the adverse effect determination and has chosen not to participate in the consultation pursuant to 36 CFR 800.6 in a letter dated January 15, 2026. And whereas the MOA provides for mitigation measures, including state-level documentation of the historic properties to be demolished, installation of a historical marker, and post-discovery provisions for the protection of archaeological resources and human remains. And whereas the MOA has been identified as HC Project Number HC 24-0748 and establishes the respective obligations and responsibilities of the city, the ALSHPM, and the PCHA with respect to the implementation of the project. And whereas the MOA is a signatory agreement that requires execution by the city, acting through its mayor, as the HUD responsible entity for the project. And whereas the City Council has reviewed the terms and provisions of the MOA attached hereto and incorporated herein, and has determined that execution of the MOA is necessary, advisable, and in the best interest of the city and its citizens. And whereas the City Council has further determined that the execution of the MOA will enable the PCHA to proceed with the project in compliance with all applicable federal historic preservation requirements, and will facilitate the creation of green space and parking facilities that will benefit the Frederick Douglass Homes community. And whereas the City Council finds that the mitigation measures set forth in the MOA appropriately address the adverse effects of the project on historic properties and represent a reasonable resolution of the consultation process conducted pursuant to Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act. And whereas, pursuant to the laws of the state of Alabama and the Charter and Code of Ordinances of the City of Phoenix City, the City Council possesses the authority to authorize the execution of agreements on behalf of the city. Now therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, authorize and direct its mayor, Eddie N. Lowe, to execute, on behalf of the city, the memorandum of agreement as set forth herein, passed, approved, and adopted this Tuesday of June, 2026.
Council, we've heard the reading of the resolution. At this time, I would like to ask this council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Day and a second from Councilman Barnes. Comments or discussion? Okay. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
And also Council on the Engineering and Public Works is a resolution in reference to adopting the final East Alabama Regional Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan 2025 through 2030 in accordance with the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas the City Council of the Phenix City recognizes the threat that natural hazards pose to people and property within the city. And whereas, per Resolution 2020-288, the City of Phenix City adopted Phase 1, 2020 of the East Alabama Regional Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan in accordance with the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000. And whereas the Russell County Emergency Management Agency has produced the final East Alabama Regional Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan 2025 through 2030, which identifies mitigation goals and actions to reduce or eliminate long-term risks to people and property in the City of Phoenix City from the impacts of future hazards and disasters. And whereas adoption by the City Council of Phoenix City demonstrates their commitment to hazard mitigation and achieving the goals outlined in the East Alabama Regional Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan 2025 to 2030. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama hereby adopts the final East Alabama Regional Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan 2025 to 2030 in accordance with the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000. Passed, approved, and adopted the second day of June 2026.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis. Council, all of us have heard the resolution, and at this time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion.
What's your approval?
All right, we have a motion from Councilman Day. May I have a second, Council?
Second.
Second by Councilman Bailey. Comments or discussion?
Just a brief comment, Mayor. I believe our citizens will be very pleased to know that we have a continuous mitigation plan in place. So thanks to Mr. Hunter and his team and anyone else who have had a part in making sure that we have something in place.
Thank you. At this time, Council, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceeding on, Council, on the Fire Department, is a resolution in reference to accepting the price of $15,183.55 from Whitmer Public Safety Group Incorporation for the Seek Pro 300, Seek Pro 200 thermal imaging cameras and charging station, as well as lanyard, provided it meets the required specification. Mrs. Davis.
Whereas Phoenix City Fire Rescue has solicited pricing for sea thermal imaging cameras, charging stations, and lanyards for the fire department. And whereas the lowest price for the equipment meeting the required specifications for the Seek Pro 300, C Pro 200 thermal imaging cameras, charging stations, and lanyards is from Whitmer Public Safety Group, Inc. And whereas Whitmer Public Safety Group, Inc. has submitted pricing in an amount not to exceed $15,183.55. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama does hereby set the price of $15,183.55 from Whitmer Public Safety Group, Inc. for the C Pro 300, C Pro 200 thermal imaging cameras and charging stations, as well as lanyards, provided it meets the required specifications. Passed, approved, and adopted the second day of June 2026.
Thank you again, Mrs. Davis. Council, again, you've heard the resolution. At this time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
All right, motion from Councilmember Florence, and that's a second, Mr. Day.
Yes, sir.
We have a second from Mr. Day. Councilman Day. Comments or discussion?
Mayor, I'm just wondering, each fire person have one of these cameras, when you go into the fire, does that affect the heat on these cameras?
Yeah, she gonna show you how to operate, or Chief Williams, she'll tell you about it. Come on up, Chief.
Well, that one's your operated with. So, with that in council, so the current cameras that we have are one handheld camera, one larger handheld camera. They can be as much as $60,000 a piece on the $10,000. So what we decided to do instead of, especially for our new plumbers that are coming in, instead of having one camera, we can have much smaller, compact cameras that they can put on their person. As they're going in, it's as hands-free. As they're going in, they can see the temperature of the room from the floor all the way to the ceiling. They'll also be able to see in the dense, thick smoke, try to locate victims if they're in there, versus the normal way that we all learn, normal folks in the room, feel it by your hands. So it's just a more technological tool than the vehicle we use in this day and time.
Well, Chief, how do those cameras, how did the heat have effect on these cameras?
It can if it gets way too high. I mean, I think the temperature, operating temperature on this is at least 500 degrees for just a few minutes. So if it's that hot, I mean, we're going to try to cool the room down and get out. Yeah, it's not fireproof. But
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Day. Council, you've heard the explanation. At this time, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes. Next, council on the Utilities Department is a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and city manager to sign the master project agreement with Core and Main LP for the provision and installation of an advanced metering infrastructure system. Mrs. Davis.
A resolution in the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama, authorizing the mayor and city manager to execute a master project agreement with Core and Main LP for the provision and installation of an advanced metering infrastructure system. Whereas the City of Phenix City, Alabama currently provides water utility services to individuals and entities within its service area and is responsible for the installation, operation, and maintenance of water meters and related infrastructure necessary for the provision of such services. And whereas the city's existing water meter infrastructure consists of approximately 14,549 water meters of various sizes serving residential, commercial, and industrial customers throughout the city's service area, and many of these meters are aging, inefficient, or lack the technological capabilities necessary for modern utility management. And whereas the city has determined that it is in the best interest of the city and its utility customers to modernize and upgrade its water metering infrastructure through the implementation of an advanced metering infrastructure system that will enable automated meter reading, improved data collection, and management, enhanced customer service, reduced operational costs, and improved operational efficiency. And whereas Zymo Census manufacture the only water metering equipment that is compatible with the Alabama Power Company Company's AMI system. ENCOR and Maine LP is the only vendor authorized to distribute Zynocensus water metering equipment in Alabama and is therefore a sole source vendor. And whereas the city has negotiated in good faith with CORE and Maine for the provision and installation of an AMI metering system, including all necessary materials, equipment, installation services, project management, and related work. And whereas the city and CORE and Maine have prepared and negotiated a master project agreement, which sets forth the terms and conditions under which CORE and Maine will provide and install the AMI metering system for the city, a copy of which is attached hereto as Exhibit A and incorporated herein by this reference. And whereas the material terms of the CORE and Maine agreement include, without limitation, a comprehensive scope of work for the provision and installation of an AMI metering system, as detailed in Appendix A to the CORE and Maine agreement, including approximately 14,549 water meters and related equipment and materials. The project to be completed in 2 phases over an estimated period of 2 years. Phase 1 pricing in the amount of $4,147,668.20, which includes all materials, equipment, installation labor, and related services for Phase 1 of the project. Phase 2 pricing in the amount of $3,353,794.70, which includes all materials, equipment, installation labor, and related services for Phase 2 of the project payment, terms requiring the city to pay CORE and Maine within 30 days of receipt of invoices, with invoices to be submitted for materials as delivered and for installation, and services no more frequently than weekly. Detailed installation responsibilities and procedures, including provisions for water shutoffs, customer notifications, meter box and vault work, disposal of waste materials, and certified installers. Provisions regarding warranties, indemnification, limitation of liability, insurance requirements, safety, compliance with laws, and other standard contractual terms and conditions, and acknowledgement that the city will enter into a separate agreement with Alabama Power Company for the provision of network as a service which is necessary for the operation of the AMI system. And whereas the city has carefully reviewed and considered the terms and conditions of the CORE and Maine agreement, and has determined that the provision and installation of the AMI metering system by CORE and Maine pursuant to such agreement will serve a necessary public purpose, will benefit the citizens of the city by improving utility service delivery and operational efficiency, will reduce long-term operating costs, will enhance the city's ability to manage water resources and detect system losses, and will provide improved customer service through more accurate and timely billing. And whereas, pursuant to Alabama Code Section 11-43-56, the city has the authority to enter into contracts for services and to make appropriations necessary for the operation and maintenance of municipal utilities and the provision of utility services to the citizens of the city. And whereas, the city has determined that the procurement of the AMI metering system and related services from CORE and Maine has been conducted in accordance with all applicable procurement laws and competitive bidding requirements, or alternatively, that the CORE and Maine agreement qualifies for an exemption from competitive bidding requirements under applicable law. And whereas the City Council has determined that it is in the best interest of the city and its citizens to authorize the mayor and city manager to execute the CORE and Maine agreement on behalf of the city, together with such other documents, certificates, instruments, and agreements as may be necessary or desirable to effectuate the transactions contemplated by the CORE and Maine agreement. And whereas the City Council recognizes that the successful implementation of the AMI metering system requires coordination between the CORE and Maine agreement and the separate agreement with Alabama Power Company for network as a service. And the City Council intends that both agreements work in coordination to achieve the city's objectives for modernizing its utility metering infrastructure. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phenix City, Alabama hereby authorizes and directs the mayor and city manager to sign the master project agreement with CORE and Maine for the provision and installation of an advanced metering infrastructure system, passed, approved, and adopted this 2 days of June 2026.
Council, all of us have heard the resolution. At this time, I would like to ask this council for a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from Councilman Davis. Davis, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Davis. Comments or discussion?
I have a question. Noting that it is, in the budget for the utilities and that it's gonna be, covered within those funds, what is the time frame for phase 1 and 2 to draw to completion? Or is there any such time frame?
So we expect after the execution of the contract that quarterback will be on the ground within 6 months of that date. A lot of it depends on the supply line, and these are a lot of meters, a lot of products. So we expect both phase 1 and phase 2 to be completed within 2 years. Hopefully much sooner, but 2 years is kind of a reasonable amount of time to get that done. But we believe it'll be done a lot sooner than that. I think phase 1, after product and contractors are on the ground, which would be in 6 months, could actually be completed in 6 months. That phase, the particular phase of the project. And so we get
We realize that can be more efficient once the project is finished. Let's say some damage out there in the community, some out there's a way you can find out what area and what meter it's at.
So this is a really interesting, it's a great product. So currently, we have an automatic or an automated meter reading system. So it has a receiver with an antenna, and a meter technician drives through certain routes, and there's a receiver on the truck that picks up the signal from the meter in the ground. So the difference between this system and that one is we no longer will be riding routes, right? So that signal will be sent from the meter itself and received by an outbound power antenna, right? And that's the next contract is for y'all's consideration. We'll know, we have instantaneous, I believe it's every 15 seconds, that every meter will send information. So for instance, if you have a leak at your house, all of a sudden your consumption increases by whatever parameter we set. We got somebody call you or come to the property so we can stop those leaks when they're happening. Some of these meters also have the capability to have the service disconnected remotely, right? So we have certain customers that are repeat offenders, so to speak. So we're sending people out of their house every month to turn it off, come back the next day, or that same day, they turn it back on. And that happens every 3 months. That takes a lot of resources from us. And so we'll have the ability with this system and certain customers to remotely stop it and start service. So it's going to, like it said, it's going to help with operational efficiency. These meters are a lot more accurate as well than the ones we have. So we know we've got the rate increase that just got implemented. These things are going to be more accurate, and with more accuracy, they're going to read every single drop of water that goes through there. So just a heads up. They're better. They're going to be more accurate, and so I would expect some customers' bills will raise even more because now we're actually going to be able to get a more accurate calculation of the volume of work.
So you're saying that you said that it'll read every drop of water? Okay, you're saying that if let's say if I have a leak in my house, in my kitchen or something like that, there's a drop, like a number of drop, is someone be able to find out where they're coming from, my particular resident?
No, sir. We won't be able to detect the leaks in your kitchen or your bathroom, but what it will do, you can set the parameters, right? So if all of a sudden you're using 10% more water per day, then an alarm can go off, and we can call Mr. Day and say, hey, you might have a leak in your home or your yard that you need to check. So it's not 30 days before you're finding out that you've got a significant leak. So,
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Chan.
yes, sir.
If there's no other comments or questions, discussion at this time, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence?
Yes.
Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, Council on the Utilities Department is a resolution in reference to authorizing and directing the mayor and city manager to sign the advanced meter infrastructure services agreement with the Alabama Power Company for the provision of advanced metering infrastructure services. Mrs. Davis.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama, authorizing the mayor and city manager to execute an advanced metering infrastructure services agreement with Alabama Power Company. Whereas the City of Phoenix City, Alabama currently provides water utility services to individuals and entities within its service area and is responsible for the installation, operation, and maintenance of water meters and related infrastructure necessary for the provision of such services. And whereas the city has determined that it is in the best interest of the city and its utility customers to modernize and upgrade its water metering infrastructure through the implementation of an advanced metering infrastructure system that will enable automated meter reading, improved data collection, and management, enhanced customer service, reduced operational costs, and improved operational efficiencies. And whereas Alabama Power Company, an Alabama corporation, has access to an advanced metering infrastructure technology system, which has the capability of gathering, transmitting, and reporting over the air certain data contained or stored in census transmission devices. And APC is the sole source capable of providing certain services related to the transmission of data from the SmartPoint modules to the city using the AMI system. And whereas the city has negotiated in good faith with Alabama Power for the provision of advanced metering infrastructure services, which services include, but are not limited to, software as a service for meter data management software and regional network interface, software implementation and integration services, data transfer and processing, and related technical support and system maintenance. And whereas the city and Alabama Power have prepared and negotiated an advanced metering infrastructure services agreement, which sets forth the terms and conditions under which Alabama Power will provide the AMI services to the city, a copy of which is attached hereto as Exhibit A and incorporated herein by this reference. And whereas the material terms of the Alabama Power Agreement include, without limitation, a primary term of 15 years commencing on the effective date, with automatic successive one-year renewal periods unless terminated in accordance with the agreement, a one-time setup and configuration fee of $15,000, an AMI services fee of 73 cents per SmartPoint module per month, subject to annual escalation of 3% or sub-greater amount as is passed on to APC by census, but in no event greater than 5% per annum. Requirements for the city to purchase and install appropriate SmartPoint modules and related equipment from authorized census distributors as directed by APC. Insurance requirements for the city, and various representations, warranties, indemnification provisions, limitations of liability, and other standard contractual terms and conditions. And whereas the city has carefully reviewed and considered the terms and conditions of the Alabama Power Agreement, and has determined that the AMI services to be provided by Alabama Power pursuant to such agreement will serve a necessary public purpose, will benefit the citizens of the city by improving utility service delivery and operational efficiency, and will enable the city to better manage its utility infrastructure and customer service obligations. And whereas, pursuant to Alabama Code Section 11-43-56, the city has the authority to enter into contracts for services and to make appropriations necessary for the operation and maintenance of municipal utilities and the provision of utility services to the citizens of the city. And whereas the City Council has determined that it is in the best interest of the city and its citizens to authorize the mayor and city manager to execute the Alabama Power Agreement on behalf of the city, together with such other documents, certificates, instruments, and agreements as may be necessary or desirable to effectuate the transactions contemplated by the Alabama Power Agreement. And whereas the City Council recognizes that the successful implementation of the AMI metering system requires coordination between the Alabama Power Company for Network as a Service and the separate agreement with CORE in Maine, and the City Council intends that both agreements work in coordination to achieve the city's objectives for modernizing its utility metering infrastructure. And the City Council has determined that the execution of the Alabama Power Agreement and the performance of the city's obligations thereunder are consistent with the city's legal authority, do not violate any law, regulation, or ordinance, and are within the scope of the city's municipal powers and responsibilities. Now therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Phoenix City, Alabama does hereby authorize and direct the mayor and city manager to sign the Advanced Meter Infrastructure Services Agreement with the Alabama Power Company for the provision of advanced metering infrastructure services. Passed, approved, and adopted this Tuesday of June, 2026.
Okay, council, we heard the resolution. At this time, I have the privilege of asking this council for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second, Mayor.
Motion, Councilman Day, second, Councilmember Green. Comments or discussion? Okay, if not, I'd like to call for the vote. Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, council, the board appointments. We have an opening for the Personnel Review Board. And at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to appoint Raymond Smith to this Personnel Review Board.
Motion to appoint.
We have a motion.
I second that motion,
We
Mayor.
have a motion and a second, a motion from Councilmember Florence and a second from Councilmember Davis. Mrs. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to call on Jim McCoon, acting attorney. Good morning, Mr. McCoon.
Good morning, Mayor and Council.
Good morning.
While reading the paper, I'd like to say something. Congratulate all of you on what you just did, because that utilities problem, those meters, created a problem not only for our customers, but for our utilities people. This is going to be a big solve. And following up on what we started off with this morning about the condition of the city, it's a $7 million investment. I don't realize what this infrastructure costs, but it's going to be a great thing for the city and for our customers.
And we have the money to do it.
Exactly. So anyway, we got two claims this morning. The first one I look at is from Morgan and Morgan, biggest law firm in the world. They filed a claim on behalf of Beatrice Hall. It says that she had a loss on May 65 on 14th Street, which is the judicial center up here on the hill, the old courthouse from the county. And so I recommend we deny that claim because it's not in our.
Okay. All right, council, we've heard the recommendation from our attorney. I'd like to ask for a motion for the approval of that recommendation, please.
Motion to approve.
Motion, Councilman Davis, second, Councilman Green. I'm sorry, Florence. Ms. Davis.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Second claim is on behalf of Ms. Haley Myers. She was riding along in a white Honda Pilot EX automobile. We were working in the area. We had a white booty hog working on the side of the road, rock came up in the window. And she submitted a low bid from ASAP Auto Glass of $820. She submitted 3 bids, notified us in time. I recommend that claim be paid.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McCoon. Council, we've heard the recommendation from our attorney, and I'd like to ask for a motion for the attorney recommendation for approval of that recommendation. Motion from Councilmember Florence and second by Councilmember Green. Okay, Mrs. Davis?
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
Councilmember Green?
Yes.
Councilmember Bailey?
Yes.
Councilmember Florence? Yes. Mayor Lo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Thank you all so much. We appreciate it. I know we've been here for a while, but it's been a good day, good meeting, and every day is actually a good day when we're able to be amongst the living. So we're grateful again for this community, and we know that we're headed in the right direction, but I do know we have to keep praying for the harvest, but we got to keep on going, and I promise you we will continue to do that. So Again, I'd like to thank everyone. We've been here for a while. Thanks to the department head, and thanks to all the citizens. Thank you all so much for being part of this collective duty that we all have, the responsibility we do have. Thanks to CTV Bean for bringing this, and we are grateful and thankful that we live in Phenix City, and we're grateful and thankful to have the opportunity to continue to advance Phenix City. So I want to say, let's keep pursuing with boldness, pursuing with righteousness, pursuing with love. So with that being said, at this time, we do stand adjourned. Thank you all so much.